All right. Hopefully, you guys can hear me over here on the YouTubes. Um, Welcome in, guys. Um, Thank you for joining me tonight. And I know that TikTok over here. Welcome in, John. Thank you for joining the live stream tonight. Hey, Andrew. Welcome in. Scott says 5x5. Thank you, Scott, for that. Paul Miss says 5x5. Thank you so much for that. We have communication confirmation. All right. All right, guys. It's good to see all of you tonight over on YouTube. Salt Mist is here. Scott Hummer is here. Rule 2OIC is in the house. Welcome in, my friend. Guys, if you have not followed Rules page, you got to follow his page. He's got a great page out there in Ohio. Good to see you, my friend. Thank you for stopping on in. Aaron is in the house. Thank you, Aaron, for being here tonight. And I see a couple of new people. C. Johnson, welcome in. Welcome in. It's good to see you here. I think that says Justine. Welcome in tonight. Who else is here? Scott is here. All right. Grit and Grace, the farming florist. Welcome in, my friend. It's good to see you here. All right. Good, good, good. I see all of you. Awesome. All right. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. We got some great stuff tonight. I am going to continue to do what I do as far as the channel report. And then we're going to look at what's coming in the news. And then we're just going to kind of open the floor for questions that you might have. I'm going to talk a little bit about my time yesterday with the 0 Hour podcast, where Rule 2IC was a part of that yesterday. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about that. And you guys can ask me questions. But let's hold the questions until after the news stuff. And hopefully Salt Mist can help me coordinate all that stuff. Awesome. So let's look at the channel news, because I love to share the channel news, because as I tell everyone, and if you're new here tonight, the channel news is all about you. It's you guys who actually make this channel. I'm here just to kind of help guide you in the preparedness space, and be a sounding board, and we're going to learn together. I'm not an expert, but I am learning alongside you guys. And so we're going to talk about prepping in the physical and also spiritually, because they both go together, and we totally need that in our world today. So thank you guys for joining me tonight over here on Facebook, YouTube, and on TikTok. So let's look at the channel news, because this is super awesome for this week. So on YouTube, we have, and right before I came live, somebody else subscribed, which was pretty awesome. And it made it an even number. But on YouTube, we're sitting today at 1,030 subscribers. We have 25 new community members in YouTube this last week, which was super awesome. TikTok, we're sitting at, TikTok, we're sitting at 3,933 followers there. We have 9 new community members there. Facebook, we have 2 new members. We're sitting at 197, and our community page is at 43. We have 1 new member there. Over on X, we are at 1,055. We lost 1 member there. So yeah, that's kind of weird. I was thinking maybe somebody got their channel axed, and that's why. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Instagram, we're sitting at 1,106. We have 2 new family members there, which brings us to a total of 40 new community members in all of our channels this last week. And so that's super awesome. I knew that I know that once we hit that um, 1,000 subscriber mark, that the algorithm was going to change a little bit, and it would throw us out there just a little bit further to find new community members. And we have new community members tonight. That can be from the algorithm. That could be, we came on your For You page, or maybe you were on the live stream last night on 0 hour, and you came to join us tonight. Thank you guys for joining us. I think that is super awesome. And welcome to the community over here at God's Prepared Warrior. My name is Fernando, and I am excited to see all of you here. So the next thing I like to do for all of you new folks is we look at the news, because my slogan is stay vigilant and stay prepared. And so we look at preparedness in the physical and in the spiritual. And we look at things that are happening in the world. They don't cause us to fear, because our trust is in the Lord. And even though fires are burning here and there and over there, God is still in control of all those things. And so, hey, Mike Tango Whiskey, thank you for joining us tonight. That's another guy you got to follow if you haven't followed Mike Tango Whiskey. Thank you for joining me, my friend. It's good to see you tonight. So I want to look at a few things that have come up today that I think are pretty important for us to kind of keep on the radar, just to, hey, this thing is happening over here. And then there is a funny thing that I'm going to share at the end that I think all of you will giggle at, um, uh, for what's happening there. All right, so let's look at the first one. If you want to follow along with all of these links, I put them in the description to the YouTube channel here for this live, and you can click on each one of those links, and we're going to go over each one, not entirely, but just kind of from their title and maybe just a little bit of meat, just to get some context. So the first one that I have here is from the Jerusalem Post. It says the Pentagon prepares to deploy 1,500 soldiers to Minnesota as Waltz mobilizes National Guard to protest. So the Pentagon has placed 1,500 active duty U.S. soldiers on alert as massive protests against immigration enforcement escalate in Minnesota following the National Guard's mobilization and rising tensions. And when you click on this post, man, it's pretty dystopian. It's got these police officers, and they're wearing of course, all of their gear, right? But the first two in the front and a few in the back have on like hoodies, and they have the hoodie on, but they also have a gas mask on. And so it just reminds me of, just this dystopian scene that, we used to kind of like read in a book, or maybe online, a story online or whatever. And here it is right here in our face. So if you're following along, you can click on that and you can see that picture. It's pretty intense. So just be aware that our soldiers in Alaska are preparing to go active duty in Minnesota. So that's just something to pray about. To really pray for our soldiers, our men and women that are part of the military, and the things that they're having to do just because of all this craziness. So let's keep that in prayer. I think that's something important to watch out for, and just lift them up in prayer. The next one comes from the BBC, and Trump ties Greenland demands to Nobel Prize in a message to Norway. So Donald Trump really wants to have Greenland. He wants it because it's a really neat piece on the chessboard, and so he would really love to have it. And I think there was a reporter that asked him if they don't want to give it to you, will you take it by force? And his comment was no comment. So we know that if a country wants to occupy a certain area, Uh, there's no way that somebody comes and says, "Hey, I want to own Greenland," and they're like, "Okay, yeah." No, you actually, history has showed us that, those places are taken over by a bigger force. And so something to pray about and watch over because yeah, I don't know what the next moves are there, but Donald Trump really wants that place. And so the next one is coming from Financial Times, and whoa, I think it disappeared. Yep, sure did. Oh yeah, yeah. It says Denmark dispatches additional troops to Greenland as tensions rise. So thinking about what I just said about history, right? Now we're seeing a mobilization with within Greenland of forces to protect it. So there's that to watch out for. The next one, which I added last, so you'll see the link at the very bottom in the description, and it says added. This one says a Greenland group is selling "Make America Go Away" hats for charity, and Americans are buying the most. It's a red MAGA hat, but it in their language, it says "Make America Go Away." I thought that was funny, because if you think about it, right, Donald Trump's MAGA hat was this thing that he did, that kind of bolstered his campaign, and everybody wanted to buy hats, so there was money to be made there, right? And so this Greenland group is like, well, if Donald Trump can do that, why can't we do that? So they're selling those hats, and they're saying that Americans are actually buying those the most. So I thought I'd throw that in there. That was hilarious. So let's pay attention to what's happening in Greenland because there's a lot of stuff that's actually moving around over there, and we're starting to see this big mobilization over there. Welcome in, John, Shelly. Welcome in tonight. Thank you guys for coming in. Man, you guys are flowing in today. Awesome. Thank you for coming in. Um, the next one is coming from PBS News. It says that Bassett says it would be very unwise for Europe to retaliate over threats on Greenland. So they're scared because of what Donald Trump has been doing. He's been saying he's going to do this, and he actually does it. And so, yeah, they are. They're like, don't poke him, don't make him mad, don't poke him with a stick, right? Um, because he's going to acquire Greenland. Um, Solomon says a giant chessboard. Yes, that is correct. Very giant chessboard. Um, John says, I'm curious if we're leaving NATO base based on everything happening over there. Yeah, you're right. That is true. I've been thinking about that myself. The next one comes from CBS News. It says sending soldiers to Minneapolis for ICE crackdown would be completely unconstitutional. Mayor Frey says. The mayor, Tim Walz, they are all trying to stop um, the federal officers coming into Minnesota. They're trying to do it through the courts, and we're seeing all of that. So apparently, they really like having protesters, like just do bad things in that town, which is kind of weird to me. And I can tell you, and I've been praying about this. I can tell you that I truly believe that um, I don't want to necessarily pick on Minnesota, but that's where everything's happening, right? That they're trying to really kick off a civil war and they're using every little bit that they can, because now um, I am actually seeing on X, I think I saw it on X and I saw it on Instagram today. There are a lot of now, let me just say this correctly, um, peaceful protesters now carrying boomsticks. So I don't know if you guys have been seeing that, but I've been seeing, I haven't seen video, but I've seen pictures of actual people carrying weapons, and where the riots are happening. So not only do we have these pro these peaceful protesters peacefully protesting, uh, now we have them carrying weapons. And so it's gonna, I feel like this that's happening there is gonna kick off some kind of civil war that we do not want, right? And somebody wants that, and somebody is really pushing hard for that. And I'm praying that God would not allow that to happen. But at the same time, we have to stay vigilant, right? And we have to stay prepared in the event that things just kind of go off, right? I don't tell you that to bring fear, because that's not what we do on our channel. um, we look at things and we inquire of the Lord, and we seek wisdom from God on how we're to act when we see these things happening. And so, my conversation with God is, God, fix this, take it away. But I know in the back of my head that normal is not coming back. We're not going back to normal, right? So, as I always say, preparedness is responsibility for us, right? It's our responsibility to take care of our family. And so, if we are seeing a surge of peaceful protesters, and now they're peacefully protesting with um, arms, right? Um, it's no longer a peace. It hasn't been a peaceful protest. If you're swinging and you're pushing people around, and you're blocking these officers, that's not a protest. You're not standing on the side with a sign. You're interfering with what's happening, and it's not going to go good, right? So we see that they started with the signs, they started peacefully, and now they're throwing hands, and they're doing all kinds of stuff. Now I'm beginning to see them carry weapons, and it's important for us to know that's happening, right? C. Jonathan says, Lord, bring it all to the light. Yes, truth, because truth wins every time. That's right. That, and I know God will bring it to the light. We're already seeing with all the stuff that's happening in Minnesota, right? All of the fraud that's coming out. There is even more stuff that we don't even know. So I am researching. I have a friend who actually did some research on the fraud that's happening over there, and he sat down with me today. Well, actually, we were walking today, and on our break, and he said, "You know what? This goes deeper, and I'm going to show you." And I'm like, "Oh yeah." And so I'm gonna research what he was sharing with me today, and double check it to make sure it's all correct, because I truly believe that this place has really taken advantage, and now the truth has come out. There is so much more truth that needs to come out that we still don't even know yet. So I'm gonna follow this lead, see where it goes, and I just know that it's all gonna hit the fan. And I'm not asking you, Siri. And what, there's a saying, right? The saying says, "Follow the money." and we followed the money, and I think that's how they found out, right? So now we're gonna, as this is happening, we're gonna see a whole lot more things that are gonna come out of all of that. So keep that in mind. I've been praying really hard about this situation, about all that that's going on over there, and I want it to stop. I want people to love their neighbor, right? Because that's what we know God's word says, is we're supposed to love our neighbor. We're supposed to love our enemy, right? Jesus tells us that in God's word. And so, you know, it's simple. Well, for me, it's simple because I read the Bible and I apply it in my life and I do it. It's important for us who know to share, right, the truth, and so we know that the truth is the thing that's going to set us free. So, all right, so that's happening, and I think that's something we need to really pay attention to, because they're mobilizing all these soldiers, and they're trying. I I just don't want anyone to get hurt. That's my thing, right? This one's coming from NBC. At least 40 people are unalived, dozens injured after a high-speed train collides in Spain. So there are these two trains that are traveling opposite directions, and from what I understand, they were on a curve, and the the last train, or the end of the train, the caboose, came off the track, and it hit the other train as it was coming. And so 40 people aren't alive. I'm pretty sure there are many that are injured. And this is in Spain. So it's one of those high speed trains. So let's keep these folks in prayer. I mean, that is just terrible. I read that today, and I was just mortified by that story. I can't even imagine. So let's keep those folks in prayer. This one's coming from Reuters over in Chile. Wildfires have killed 19 people amid the extreme heat that is happening there. And a lot of people have been evacuated. And so because of the winds, because of the fire, those two things don't mix. And what we've seen here in the U.S. is happening there in Chile. So let's keep these folks in prayer too. That's a terrible thing to have to go through. So I bring everything down to this. Yeah. And you guys kind of already know what I'm going to say after I read this. So protesters actually interrupted St. Paul Church services, and they say that the pastor works as an ICE director in the field office. So I'm going to read this a little bit to you because I want you to kind of think about this. Um, it says the U.S. Department of Justice said Sunday that it was investigating a group of protesters in Minnesota who disrupted services at the church, where a local official with the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement apparently serves as a pastor. A live stream video posted on a Facebook page of Black Lives Matters Minnesota, one of protests organizers show a group of people interrupting services at the city's church in St. Paul by chanting "Ice Out" and "Justice for Renee Good." The protesters allege that one of the church's pastors, David Eastwood, also leads a local ICE field office overseeing the operations that they said have involved violent tactics and illegal arrests. I saw that today, and it blew my mind because I go to church too every Sunday, and this is you know this is important because how situationally aware are we when we are in church, right? Um, you know, when I'm in church and it's worship time, guess what? Um, I don't black out. I worship the Lord, and nothing exists around me because I'm worshiping the Lord, right? And so because of this, now I'm gonna be really paying attention um, more, and especially where I sit in the church, and I am gonna trust in the team that we have, our security team, because they stopped me and they pulled me out one day about my knife, and so I shared with that with you guys that they were like, "We need you to take your knife back to your vehicle because it's scaring people." I have a big knife, and I forgot to cover it with my shirt, and I'm a biker. Come on, guys, and and so the police officer, I think the church security pointed me out and told the church the police officer. Police officer came and got me. He's like, "Hey, can I see you in the foyer?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm excited because I think they need help. And the guy's like, the officer's like, "Sir, we're gonna have to ask you to take your knife back to your vehicle." And I'm like, "Is there any particular reason why I didn't take it out or anything?" And he's like, "No, it scares people." I'm like, "Oh, okay." In my brain, I'm registering. It probably scared one of the church security guys, and they don't know me, right? Afterwards, I'm telling the pastor about it. He's laughing. He says, "Fernando, it's okay. Don't worry about it. They don't know. Not everyone knows that you're a pastor." And so anyway, so I told I told the officer. So I was a little upset about it. It's to me, it's not a knife. It's a tool, right? And I told the officer, I said, "Okay, I'll go put it next to my gun." Oh man, it was too funny. But yeah, so I'm reading this thing and I'm like, oh my God, people just bust into church and they interrupt the church services, and all of this is happening in Texas. You don't do that. I'm just saying. Um, yeah, you don't do that in Texas, because everybody packs here. So just saying. But we need to have situational awareness wherever we're going because it seems like things are not getting any better. And like I said, I am now seeing pictures on X, on Instagram, of protesters who are now carrying weapons, and it is not getting better. So um, that is something for us to really, really pay attention to. And if we're out and about and we happen to come upon a peaceful protest, that we are careful, and that we know where we are and where we can escape to in the event that stuff happens, right? So keep that in mind. I think that is really important. What do you guys think? Hey, KP, welcome in, my friend. Thank you for joining me. Haven't seen you in a while. Thank you for coming back. It's good to see you, my friend. John says, I agree. Yes, 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 yes. Awesome. So, we'll move into the next thing. This is the question and answer. You guys can ask me a question, um, and I am going to answer that tonight. I really don't have a topic to share with you tonight other than keeping ourselves situationally aware because of all the things that are happening tonight. And then I kind of want to talk about what happened yesterday. A few of you were there, and it was really cool. So thank you guys for joining me yesterday. I know you saw my post. Hey, join me or yesterday for the 0 Hour podcast, where Rule 2IC is one of the gentlemen there that are a part of that podcast, along with Ohio Valley Prepping and Half Ass Ready. And so it was a fun night to meet the three of them, not in a video form, but to be able to talk with them and collab with them. It was a really, really cool night. And I had the opportunity to kind of share a little bit of the channel with their audience, and it was really neat because at the same time we I had a few people in there that said, Fernando, can you add me to your prayer list? So I thought that was the neatest thing. Out of the whole thing, people were listening, and they were asking for prayer. And so um, I'm putting this out today is probably the last time I'm gonna talk about it other than mentioning it in a video or maybe in a live stream and just kind of saying, send me your prayer requests. So I want to encourage all of you guys to send me your prayer requests. You can send them to me in an email at godspreparedwarrior@gmail.com. And I am putting together a team of prayer warriors where we're going to meet together and we are going to pray for all of the requests that have come through the channel. The opportunity, like I had yesterday on the Zero Hour podcast, to kind of share about that part of our channel, and how even there we had a few people say, pray for this for me, and it's really a blessing for me to pray for someone, to intercede for someone who needs prayer. I want to share with you kind of an experience that we had over the weekend. My wife and I, and another brother and his wife in our motorcycle ministry that we're a part of. Um, we had a brother from another town that we have a chapter out there, had a heart attack, and then he was brought into the city where we are. And so we went to visit with him, and everything was going great. He was sharing with us, that he had this mild heart attack, and um, the the EMS from the hospital there where he lives couldn't do anything for him, so they brought him to where we are in the big city. And so while we're visiting with him and we're praying with him, he begins to have a heart attack right in front of us. And so we went into prayer warrior mode, and we just began to lay hands on him and pray for him. All of a sudden, the nurses and the doctors started coming in. We kind of got kicked out, which is customary because they have to help him, right? And so we're in the hallway, we're praying, and I just immediately moved to, who can I bring along with me to pray? So I texted my mom and my dad, and I said, "Hey, I need you both to be praying, for this individual, and this is what's happening. This is where we are." And then, I'm texting all of the group, and I'm letting them know what's happening. We need everybody praying right now. And, all of a sudden, they had this alert thing go off, and more doctors came into the room, and after a little while, um, we were able to go back in the room. They kind of stabilized him, but they were going to have to move to surgery because they were going to put a pacemaker in him. So be praying for my friend. He went through surgery Sunday morning, and he is doing, so far, he's doing really well. So I tell you that story because we're talking about prayer. And I truly believe in prayer. I truly believe that God hears our prayers because his word tells us that he does. And so, I'm vigilant to everything that's happening in our world. And I share this with you guys here. And I put it, for you guys to look at, not for you to look at it in fear, because God doesn't give us that spirit, right? We know that 2 Timothy 1:7 says God doesn't give us a spirit of fear, but love, power, and a sound mind. And so we know that when things are happening, our very first thing to do is to incline to the Father and pray and ask, God, I need help in this situation. God, this thing is happening. God, I need healing in this moment for this individual. And that's what we were doing on, and we got to see God move. And as I was talking to one of the nurses, I asked her, I said, how is he doing? Is he going to be okay? And she said he's going to be fine. And I'm like, wow, prayer, right? Yes, God uses the doctor, God uses the nurses. They went to school, they learned all of that stuff, right? I'm praying in the hallway, God be with these doctors, give them your wisdom, because our friend is hurting. And so prayer is an important thing in Fernando's life. And so, I truly believe that God, still today, does miracles, and it's important for us to ask the Father that um, for that help. Um, let's see, 0 hour was awesome, Scott Hummer. You did great. Thanks, appreciate it, my friend. Uh, yeah, it was really fun, and it was really good to meet the guys. And I've been like you guys, right? You guys are in the chat. I'm in rules chat when I can. I definitely watch his movies. He's gonna make movies. Just saying. I definitely watch his videos every day because he puts them out early in the morning. And I'm in a bunch of other channels that I'm like you in the chat, or I'm watching the video, and I leave a comment because that's where I started, right? And so I'm not ever going to leave that. I'm going to continue to be that person that's supporting somebody else, and helping their channel and getting the word out and all that. That's why when these guys come in here and you see, like today, Rule came in, and you know I always tell you, follow their channel because they have a great channel, and they're doing all these great things. And so make sure that you follow them, right? Rules in here. Let's see who else I saw. Mike Tango Whiskey's in here, right? And Grid and Grace is in here. Make sure you follow their channels. Um, and so thank you guys for joining us tonight. I think that's super awesome. If you're new here, let us know. Hey, I'm new, and tell us how you found the channel. All right. C Johnson says, God knows our every thought. It is amazing. Yes, you are right, my friend. It is truly amazing. So I want to open up this for you guys if you want to ask me questions, because I know a few of you are brand new to the channel, and I would like to answer any questions you might have. And if you're a veteran here, you guys can always ask me a question. So let's get this going. I know that over here on TikTok, you guys can ask a question. I will definitely keep looking up here. If I don't answer your question, make sure you keep writing it, because this thing goes up pretty fast. So ask away, right? So yeah, so yesterday was really awesome, and it was neat it was really cool because even when we said our goodbyes, we just kind of hung still there a little bit after that, and chatted with one another, and I thought that was really cool to do that. So we're 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 all down to earth people. We're all people, just like you guys. I'm a people. You're a people. Rules of people. I mean, it was just really neat. To just kind of talk together and share. Just some things that we were going through. So yeah, but yeah, so don't forget, Bug Out Weekend is this year in November, on Thanksgiving weekend. We're planning a Bug Out Weekend, and I am hopefully going to have a spot for us soon. There's a few people I need to contact to see if they will allow us to come on property. So if you would like to join us on our Bug Out Weekend, and you're in Texas, maybe you want to travel to Texas. I know a few of the guys are going to actually come down to Texas, and I thought that's pretty cool. And so you can come and camp with us. It's going to be the weekend of Thanksgiving, and I have a few people who said, I asked my wife, and said, "You want to go to Texas for Thanksgiving?" And she said, "Yeah." And so that's pretty cool. So it's going to be fun. So send me an email, say, hey, I want to go camping with you on Bug Out Weekend, Texas edition, in November. That way I can add you to the list. And I don't have a cutoff number yet, but there is going to be a cutoff number. Get in early, and I will give you all the details later as I get them. But for now, it's the date is set for Thanksgiving weekend of this year. So we got from now till there to till then to do all of that. The great thing about this is, we're gonna get to camp together, we're gonna get to fellowship together, uh, have fun, and then we're gonna learn together. We're gonna learn all about survival. We're gonna have classes on things to learn about survival, and I think that's important. And so think about that. If you want to be a part of that, send me an email at godspreparedwarrior@gmail.com. Also, if you want to be part of the prayer team, let me know. Send me an email, godspreparedwarrior@gmail.com, so I can add you to that list too, because here pretty soon I'm going to be sending out links, the Zoom link, so that we can get together and pray for the requests that have come through. And if you have any prayer requests and you want to throw them in the chat, you can. If you don't want anyone to see them, send me an email, and we will definitely keep you in prayer and keep your requests in prayer as well. Tennessee Tactical, welcome. Thank you for joining us tonight, my friend. I appreciate you coming in. You guys are just coming in from everywhere. Uh, that's the algorithm. So when I have a friend that told me that the day that I meet the thousandth subscriber, the algorithm kind of changes a little bit. And so every time you meet something in YouTube and um, you make a goal, like they say when you start your YouTube channel and you start recording videos, if you make I think like 3 videos, um, you did a goal, right? And so there are a lot of things. So there's the 1,000 subscriber mark. There's the 5,000. I think the 10,000. And so each time the algorithm changes when you meet a goal that YouTube sets out. And I think that's what's happening, and that's a great thing. So I think that's pretty cool. Love to be part of the prayer group. Okay. Good. I'm gonna Salt Miss, can you help me take names? Um, Salt Miss will take your name down. I'm gonna have to start paying Salt Miss. Um, Pray for my classroom, Aaron says. Let me get my glasses. I can't read without my eyes. Um, Pray for my classroom. There is some dark presence that is lingering in the room. I've prayed over it and play Christian instrumental and have the church praying, but still remains. Most definitely, Aaron, we'll definitely keep your classroom in prayer. Thank you for sharing that today. My friend Casey is my friend. Oh, okay, cool, awesome. Well, thank you for joining us. Tennessee Tactical, thanks. Um, yeah, thank you for joining us. If you subscribe, I will subscribe to your channel too as well. Thank you guys for coming in and being part of that. We'll make sure that you get part. We'll get you in for the prayer group. I would love to have you in there. Um, yeah. Okay. Cool. More details to follow on Bug Out. Yes, on Bug Out weekend, more details will come. Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate that, guys, for sharing your prayer requests. Welcome, Casey. Casey Little Owl. Okay. Uh, all right. That's the first time I'm seeing your name. Awesome. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, let's keep Aaron in prayer. I think that's important. Um, yeah, most definitely. Yeah, so many people do need prayer. You are absolutely our out guys, our world needs prayer. when I pray, it's not just Fernando, not just Fernando's family. It's not just where Fernando lives. It's our U.S. United States. It's the countries below us, above us, east of us, west of us. I mean, it's happening everywhere. There's all kinds of stuff happening. There's even things happening right now in Guatemala, of all places. Don't burn the beans down, please. The coffee beans. Guatemalan coffee is awesome. Um, so there's I saw this come out today, and I think I did a reel on that today. If you haven't seen that reel yet, but they're I think they're protesting there too, for something that was happening, that so many officers were actually unalived. So it's our world. Our world is in need of prayer so bad. Do you guys travel a lot, and do you ever go to Idaho? Okay, so here's the thing. Um, I I live in Texas, and so to get out of Texas is like traveling to another state. I really would love to get out. Now I know that if you're talking about bug out weekend, I know that in Ohio, bug out weekend comes out of Ohio, and my friend Rule 2IC was talking about it one day, and I actually got to see him go to bug out weekend. He did it on his channel. He went live with everything that was happening. I'm like, man, why can't we do that thing here? So if you follow Rule 2IC, if you follow Half Ass Ready, and you follow Vision, Ohio Valley Prepping, and Vision Preparedness, these guys do bug out weekend in Ohio, and that's kind of where that came from. And I'm like, can I do bug out weekend Texas edition? And they're like, yeah, go for it. So they're coming down to camp with us in Texas, the Ohio. I call them the Ohio boys. Uh, and so that's going to be fun and interesting. Not only are we going to get to, see each other, online through YouTube, but we're actually going to get to camp together, and it's going to be totally fun. I'm excited. Yes, OVP. Yeah, he's coming down. Yeah, yeah. He was telling me last night. He asked his wife. He's like, "Hey, you want to go to Texas for Thanksgiving?" And she's like, "Yeah, let's go." So that's going to be pretty cool. I'm excited about that. Idaho. Hey, Fernando. Would love the fishing. Okay, so I am a fisherman. I'm a hunter, and so I probably would, because I love fishing. I really do. And not only that, but I love eating fish, cooking fish, all that good stuff. So yeah, if you guys are new, after tonight, whenever you have a chance, go to my videos. I have a bunch of me videos of me, reels and videos of my hunting trip I just went on. I'm still working on my camping trip. I'm gonna hopefully post that up this week. I've had trouble with my phone, so I think I got all the kinks out, and now I can actually upload all the stuff. And so hopefully I will finish that this week. So I will have my camping video done hopefully by the end of the weekend. So look out for that. That's going to be pretty cool. I also do product reviews. I did product reviews when I was camping last November, and those videos are up, and you can see those on my channel. I I did all the stoves that my wife says I have too many stoves. So check that video out. That's pretty cool. And I have a few other videos that I'm going to be posting too as well, that I just recorded. More product review, and me using those items in a video. So look out for that stuff. Um, I like that. Okay, cool. Awesome. Yeah, make sure you go check my channel. Now, I'm a comms guy. So if you want to learn about communications, go a little further back and you'll see a video that I posted. It's called God's Prepared Warrior Frankenstein Comms Bag. And that's this thing right here. This is all of my comms. There are 7 radios in this bag right here. So check out that video if you want to learn about comms. I always tell people, if you want to learn that stuff, shoot me an email and let's talk about it. I am not an expert, but I have jumped in the deep end of the pool on that stuff, and I communicate here where I live. I connect to repeaters. I've actually led for about a month when the net control guy got sick, and I took over net control for a month. That was really neat and interesting. Never thought I would do that, but I got to lead a net, so that was pretty cool. And so I'm helping people here where I live, um, connect their radios and do all of that. So I have a business venture that I'm praying for about comms. So be praying for that. I think I posted a picture a while back about it. But I'm a comms guy also. And yeah, if you need help with radios, let me know. I'll help you. What's up, Real Thoughts? Hey, thank you for joining me tonight. You got to follow his channel, Real Thoughts Project. You got to follow his channel. He has some provocative thoughts that he shares every once in a while, and I've met him. I just found his page by accident one day and just started following him, and or he started following me. I don't remember how it started, but we follow each other. And this last week, I was on two of his lives while he was working and driving. So that was pretty cool. So thank you for being here, my friend. Yeah, make sure you follow his page too. Um, he's super cool. So yeah, so make sure that you guys, if you're wanting to be part of those things, shoot me an email and say, Fernando, I want, be part of the prayer team. I want to be part, I want to go camping, or I need help with my comms, and we'll start communicating, and we'll help you out. That's what I want to do. I'm not here to keep information and hold it for myself. So yeah, it's good to see you too, my friend. Yeah. So, and I also, last live, I think I showed you guys some of my um, herbs that I've bought, and I actually posted a reel of me making my tea. And so it is because when 2020 hit, all through 2020, 2021, 22, 23, and I think 24, um, probably up to 23. Every December, either I got COVID. Well, so I got the original COVID in 2020. That really jacked me up, and I have effects that have lingered from that original COVID, and so it affects. I have a inhaler that I have to have with me because of that first strain of COVID. And so it's like because of that, every year since then, I've been sick with either, you know, congestion, um, um, you know, flu. I think I've had the flu a bunch of times, but I've had COVID a lot. And so um, ever since I started drinking this tea, it's a combination of mullein tea. Mullein is for your lungs. It's a combination of mullein. It's a combination of marshmallow root. It is also peppermint. It is also clove and cinnamon. And so I take. If you watch the video, I show you. It's one teaspoon of each one of those, and I do yeah 2 ounces of water or 2 cups of water, boiling, and then I put it in there, and then I let it steep for anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes, and then I add honey when I'm pouring it in my cup, and so it doesn't taste bad. It actually tastes really good, and it helps me breathe better. So so yeah, so I've started. I'm learning herbalism. Like I said, I'm following a few people and I'm learning a lot, and so that helps me. And so I'm going to be posting all of those things as I get them, because I want to build my natural medicine cabinet, and switch over to that and get away from chemicals and pills and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I am interested in that. RTP says interesting. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Mullen tea. That's right. CJ, mullen tea. Yeah, mullen is a plant. You can actually grow mullen and you can cut it, dry it, and then you can actually boil it in water and it helps your lungs. You can actually hear me sometimes when my breath is going out. So yeah, mullein clears the lungs. That's right, Salt Miss. It does really good. Um, so yeah, so I'm gonna be putting out. Mullein is amazing. Yes, it is, John. I'm gonna be putting out more videos on that as those things come along. As I learn, I'm gonna be posting posts about that stuff and things like that. We're also coming into um, I don't know. Salt Miss can probably help me out here more than anybody. But I say we're we're coming into spring, and I say that loosely because Texas, I think last year the last freeze was in February, maybe the last week of February, and so I started growing some stuff last year and it actually grew. Plants were coming out of the dirt and it was like, wow, this is pretty cool. My thumbs aren't even green and this is working. But I didn't do enough research to think that bugs are going to eat my stuff, so I need to protect my plants. And so anyway, I went out one day and all my plants were chewed up, and I'm like, what is happening here? And I found out that some of the things that I was growing, there's bugs that really like the plants. So I've learned that you plant certain things with other plants, and that those plants help that plant kind of grow and not get eaten by the bugs, so that you can have a harvest. See, I'm not a farmer, so I'm learning, but I'm learning because I want to be I want to grow my own food, right? I don't want to rely on things, and so I'm a work in progress, and I'm the type of person that I jump into the deep end of the pool and I learn, and so this is what I've learned. So we really haven't had we had our first freeze this last weekend. It was down to 27 degrees, and but then it got hot in the afternoon, so we really haven't had winter just yet. So I'm thinking, as February comes, if we're lucky, we only have winter for February. But sometimes in Texas, it will last and linger probably sometimes till April. So it just depends on the weather pattern that is here hitting us. So who knows? I'm gonna have to look at the Farmer's Almanac, I guess, because those guys know what they're talking about. I don't know if you've ever read that book. Yeah, they're like spot on. It's like you guys must do this for a living. But yeah, winter is just starting here. Salt Miss says. I'm gonna say that winter has never left. Salt Miss. Oh goodness. She was sharing pictures with me. How beautiful it is with the snow. So yeah, we get snow here. Whenever the winter wants to dump snow on Texas, and people freak out and don't know how to drive in it, and it shuts down everything. And so because nobody knows how to drive in it, and it's pretty bad. So all of you guys that experience snow, and y'all like, I hate shoveling snow. Count it a blessing because you could live here in Texas and not ever know what snow is, and then all of a sudden it hits you, and then you're like, "What did I do?" you know. I'm just saying that's how people are here. It's kind of weird. Yeah. What did y'all say? Shelly says, um, "Oh, we had a warm winter in Idaho, but we already had adequate water. That's good. You don't At least you're not in a drought. We're always in a drought over here. It's so dang hot. It's not even funny. Same here in North Carolina. It might happen here in the next few days. Awesome. Yeah, I remember you riding around and it's just like looking like Texas. Thomas says, I'm counting down till March. Okay. So you're counting down till March because that's when spring is, or that's when winter is? And when is your spring? Salt mist. That's my question. Because I actually started to today, but I got really busy and I had to let it go. But my goal today was to figure out when is spring here? When is the great time for me to start planting? Because I got seeds, and every time I open up, some fruit, I'm keeping the seeds all the time. I've been putting them in little bags and labeling them because I'm ready. I'm ready to fill my whole little beady backyard full where you can't walk, and it's nothing but plants. But I've also wanted to create um, some kind of. I want to do raised beds. My thought is raised beds and have them covered so that bugs can't get them and eat them, so that I can have a harvest. So I'm trying to figure that out and see how all that's going to work. But then at the same time, it gets so hot here in Texas that I think that sometimes the heat can kill all that stuff. So I'm wondering if that was also part of what happened this last year. So I don't know. I'm learning. So we'll see. But it gets too dang hot here. It gets so hot. Fernando doesn't go camping in the summer because no way. I'm not gonna lay down at night and sweat to death. That's crazy. That's crazy talk. Alrighty, guys, we've reached the hour and just wanted to share all of that with you guys. And if I didn't get to answer any of your questions, shoot me an email. I'll answer you. Send me a comment. Leave me a comment. I'll even go back here and look at all of the comments. And if I miss something, I'll answer. So, guys, thank you for joining me tonight. Remember, we go live every Monday night at 9 o'clock Central Standard Time, and hope to see you on our next live next week. And I hope to see you on the next video tomorrow in the morning at 8 o'clock, maybe 10 o'clock. I'll see you again on the next video, guys. I'm praying for all of you. Be safe out there, guys. Hope to see you on the next one. God bless.